flat is back. Cheltenham Festival is out the way, done and dusted, and all eyes turn to the flat, thank God. This weekend we've got the Dubai World Cup card at Meydan. Plenty of top-class European runners to cover there. Saturday also sees the return of the Irish flat season. First fixture of the season at the Curragh, although the ground there looks very, very soft, so we're watching brief only. We'll touch on that more later on. Then next week, the traditional curtain raiser to the UK flat season, the Lincoln Handicap at Doncaster. Again, we'll touch on that a little bit later. First up at Meydan this weekend, 3 races on ITV4, starts 3:10 in the Dubai Turf. Plenty of European runners, plenty of UK runners. Lord North, trained by John and Thady Gosden, who you will know well, has run in this race twice before. He won it in 2021. He dead heated in this race last year with a Japanese runner, so he's pretty much 2 from 2 in this race. Given his record, you might be surprised to see that Lord North is 15-2 third favourite. That's because Japan have the top 2 in the market. A theme across the card, to be fair. The Japanese trained 5 winners at this very meeting, the Dubai World Cup meeting last year, and have been making massive waves on the international scene for some time now, to be fair, the Japanese, and that looks set to continue this year at the Dubai World Cup meeting. For the Dubai Turf, I'm all over the Real World, trained by Bin Saror. He's as big as 12-1, and I think that's a monster price. No horse got closer to Baid over a mile last year than Real World did. He ran in the Dubai World Cup itself last year, which was completely the wrong race on dirt. He hated it. He shouldn't have even been running there. But career best form figures in the Lockinge and the Queen Anne last year, behind Baid before injury curtailed Real World season last summer. He's been off 263 days before he had a spin over course and distance at Meydan earlier this month in what turned out to be a nightmare of a race for Real World. Hampered right out of the stalls, didn't settle at all, traffic problems all the way down the back straight, and jockey pretty much down tools when the tank emptied at the business end of the race. Put a line through that, hope that his strip's a lot fitter for this race. It's a very competitive looking race, but at 12-1 each way, 4 places, it's the first official bet of the doubles and trebles season, and that will be on Real World, 12-1 each way for the Dubai Turf. I just think with Real World, he's got the... Remember a horse back in the day, Celebration, who used to run behind Frankel many, many times. I think he's, could be treated in the same way. Baid was so good last year, particularly over a mile. I know he got beat at the end of the season, but forget that. Baid was making easy work of the Lockinge, the Queen Anne, the Sussex Stakes, etc. And Real World was the only horse to really get anywhere near him last year. He didn't get near to beating him, but he got near enough to him in second and ran some really good races. I think Real World's a good horse. I think he's been forgotten in this market. There is 2 Japanese runners at the top of the market, Duduce and Serifos. I don't know how good they are, but on form figures, on RPRs, Real World's up there. He's got an RPR of, around 130 something or other, 139. So, he's right up there if you're just taking RPRs at face value, which you don't have to do all the time, but just as a barometer there, he's right up there against the Japanese horses, and he's a double figure price. I think that's too big. On to the Shima Classic at 4 o'clock at Meydan. A similar makeup in race, really, in comparison to the Dubai Turf. Lots of familiar names, but a Japanese horse at the top of the betting. This one... it's a very strong favourite at the top of the betting. Equinox, 5-4 best price. Is apparently regarded as the best horse in Japan. Is without a doubt the one to beat here. Clear on ratings as I referred to earlier. He could well be the one to beat. He's the best horse in Japan. I don't really know how good he is. We're going to find out. The Japanese are no longer underestimated on the international stage following their success in recent years. Mostadaf is the interesting one for me. I actually put him up for the Arc last year at 66-1. He finished last. It was terrible ground, but he repaid some of my money when bolting up on quicker ground in Saudi Arabia last month. A really, really impressive win by 7 lengths. This is a step up again, but he does look to be the leading UK hope. That's Mostadaf. The John and Thady Gosden team in the famous Hamdan colours. Jim Crowley will be doing the steering. A possible safe each way bet if you are that way inclined, but not an official selection given the apparent Japanese beast, which they've been calling it in the field in Equinox. Charlie Appleby's got two-time Breeders' Cup winner Rebels Romance in this field, and last year's Irish Derby winner Westover, he's also in there as well. So there's plenty of European interest in the Shima Classic at 4 o'clock. The World Cup itself, worth £6 million to the winner, is at 4:35. Again, it's on ITV4. I've got no interest in dirt racers, as you well know, but I will be cheering Newmarket boys Simon and Ed Crisford, who have a live chance with Algiers, who has won twice this year in Meydan already. He's a 6-year-old now. He's gone pretty much under the radar. You were seen winning a York handicap last October, and now he's second favourite for the one of the richest races in the world. Pretty large turnaround really, but he's in career best form, this Algiers. Like I say, 6-year-old now. He's obviously thriving. £6 million to the winner. They'll pick up, possibly near £1 million if they come second or maybe even third. So good luck to them, and that's one I'll be watching. Away from Meydan, over at the Curragh, the first Irish flat fixture of the season on Saturday. It's bad ground, it's been raining, it's soft to heavy already, could get worse. There won't be any bets, that is for sure. We could see the return of last year's 1,000 Guineas winner, Homeless Songs. She looked sensational when winning that Irish 1,000 Guineas last May on soft ground. I've not got a clue what to make of her thereafter, though, to be honest. She spent much of the summer on the sidelines, waiting around for soft ground. Fair enough, if that's what she needs. But she returned later in the season on soft ground at Longchamp and Newmarket, was favourite in one, second favourite at Newmarket, and disappointed. It's as simple as that. It's hard to know what to make of her, particularly the back end of last year. But Dermot Well brings her back this year, and let's see how she gets on as a 4-year-old. That's over a mile at the Curragh. It's a Group 3 one to watch. And next week, it's on to the Lincoln at Doncaster. Not usually a race I get too excited about betting-wise, but certainly one to watch with interest, with a view to other upcoming handicaps, particularly over a mile. I really like the Lincoln as a watching brief and to see which ones to put in the tracker thereafter. There's 95 entered at this stage. There's a maximum field of 22. There's no way I'll be giving a anti-post selection, and I'll hopefully be reporting back next week with my pick. Although I can tell you that regular contributor to Doubles and Trebles, FD, fancies Boardman 50 to 1 for the Lincoln, and he is adamant that the Tim Easterby 7-year-old was a big eye catcher and unlucky in running in the Wolverhampton Lincoln trial a couple of weeks ago. So go back and watch Boardman in the Lincoln trial at Wolverhampton. You can make your own mind up. FD fancies him at 50 to 1. Do what you want with that information. And finally, there as usual, be plenty of anti-post content here on Doubles and Trebles for the UK Classics, the Guineas, the Derby, etc. There's already some short anti-post profile videos up on the channel for the 1,000 and 2,000, and there's not a hell of a lot changed or to report since those videos went up at the turn of the year. There'll be no one on YouTube talking about the Guineas anti-post 5 or 6 months before, but we do here at Doubles and Trebles, and we'll build towards it to the first weekend in May. The biggest news in the Guineas anti-post markets thus far is that last year's Fillies Mile winner, commissioning, trained by John and Sadie Gosden, has suffered a career-ending injury and has been retired. She was around second favourite for the 1,000 Guineas. She was second or third favourite for the Epsom Oaks as well, so right up there, and one of the potentially leading contenders will not be running. She has been retired. That's on the 1,000. On the 2,000 Guineas, pretty much nothing to report, no movers really, but I do like Auguste Rodin. I've already said that on our short profile videos on the channel. He's the one for me in the 2,000 Guineas. It's pretty obvious. He's 5 to 1 joint favourite, but I do fancy him, and I think he could go off shorter, particularly if Little Big Bear does not run. So thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon with more racing and darts content here at Doubles and Trebles.